Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. So, in this episode, we'll be discussing the PWHL as they release the new logos and team names. We'll talk about the Oilers' offseason outlooks and more NHL news to come on this show. So, stay tuned in. The format is going to be kind of different. So, to all my YouTube viewers, you'll be watching me discuss this on PowerPoint. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, well, of course, you'll just listen. You won't be able to see the stuff I'm discussing in the PowerPoint, but you'll be able to listen and hear. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're literally seeing the stuff I discuss on the PowerPoint. If you're listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this, by audio or MP3 mode, you'll just hear me discuss it like a normal podcast will. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and we are going to get started. So like I said, of course, the PWHL released the new names and logos. So of course, they have the Boston Fleet, the Minnesota Frost, the Montreal Victory, the New York Sirens, the Ottawa Charge, and the Toronto Sectors. Now, not going to lie, I really don't discuss a lot of women's hockey on my podcast, but it's hockey related, and it's really exciting to see the game of hockey grow and make it be more diverse. So that's why I'm discussing it. I don't watch a lot of women's hockey. I think one time the All-Star game, NHL All-Star game, they had 3-on-3 women's hockey, and then I watched that. And then I think at the start of the PWHL, I think I watched at least one game or two, but I really don't watch a lot of women's hockey though. Um, but just wanted to let you guys know. But anyway, I'm going to rank the logos from first to sixth. So first to last, I'll rank each logo, telling you guys which one is the best and which one is the worst. Because we actually do see some logos that don't really like as fans of hockey. So, of course, like I said, I'm going to be ranking the PWHL logos now. So, the first logo, the Montreal Victory. So, I think it shows great history to the city of Montreal and, of course, the Montreal Canadiens. That is a great team name. I do love the logo. Absolute class. And, like I said, showing great history to Montreal because, of course, Montreal is a hockey city. And, fun fact, if you guys did not know, the Montreal Canadiens do have the most Stanley Cups in the NHL. I think they have 24 Stanley Cups in total. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, and I really do think that this is a rocking logo. Not really that much to say after that. And the uniform should be kind of nice too. I can't wait to see the uniforms. I know they're probably going to be discussing it and talking about it. But I think it just shows going back to the history of Montreal and stuff. I mean, the team name's good, logo's good, uniforms are probably going to be good as well. I know the Canadians, they haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1993, and that's also the Canadian Cup drought for Canada because Canada hasn't won the Stanley Cup in so long. But hey, we'll maybe see a PWHL team win a championship, bring it back to Canada. Of course, we did see Toronto Raptors of the NBA win a title. That was with Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry was still on the team then, so we could see a PWHL team or a Canadian team win a championship title for Canada. So I really do like this logo, and I can't wait to see the uniforms when it comes out. Number two, I got the Minnesota Frost. So great logo, great team name. Of course, Minnesota is the state of hockey. The U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame is in Minnesota, if you didn't know. And I really think this goes back to the roots and details, kind of like how I was discussing for Montreal. This goes back to why it's just called the Minnesota Frost. Minnesota, they love their hockey down there. They love cheering for the Minnesota Wild. Brock Faber, of course, the hometown kid. He actually did play college hockey at University of Minnesota, and now he's playing for the Minnesota Wild. So yeah, they absolutely love their hockey. They're known for hockey in the United States because it's up in the north. So that's got to be one of the number one states that absolutely loves their hockey, and I do love the team name and the logo for this. And I can't wait for them to release the uniforms. They probably already have released the uniforms, but not sure. But the uniforms should look very nice as well. Number three, we're gonna go to the Toronto Scepters. Hopefully, I pronounced that name right. So I think this is showing like loyalty. This kind of reminds me of like one of those things that you would see like in the fairy tale or like something. You guys probably won't know what I'm talking about, but it kind of reminds me of that. I do love the logo. It is a great looking logo. Kind of shows like royalty to like Toronto and stuff. So the uniform should be like blue or kind of like goldish. I think for the alternate, if they do decide to have like an alternate uniform, they should like make it like gold and stuff. And because I think that would really like stand out with the logo. And of course, the home uniform is blue, and of course, the away uniform is like white and stuff. So I think blue should be good for the primary colors, and then I think for the alternate, just have a little like yellowish kind of jersey, and I think that would really like stand out right there. So not a bad logo, and um, we'll see. Maybe the Toronto PWHL team wins something because I know the Maple Leafs haven't won a cup in a long time. And like I said, like I mentioned already, the Raptors won that 2019 NBA title against Golden State. So you could see the Toronto PWHL team take home the title to Toronto. Number four, we got the Boston Fleet. Great logo, but bad team name. I really think they could have came up with something else. Of course, they decided to give a little green to the logo, kind of like giving it to the Boston Celtics because Celtics they wear green. This is more like a darkish kind of green right there. But not a bad logo, but the team name is just awful. So I really think that they should change the team name because like I said, I don't get the team name at all. It is not good. So I'm hoping that they change it. Um, Sooner or later, kind of like for NHL, Utah Hockey Club, bad team name. So like I said, I'm just hoping that they change some of these names. And I know somebody mentioned that the team name was bad, and honestly, do not blame them. So yeah, but good logo though. Number five, New York Sirens. Love the name, but hate the logo. If they're gonna call themselves the New York Sirens, I really think they should have like a fire alarm. So like a go horn, kind of like for like hockey in general. They should have like a go horn for like their logo. And I think if you wanted to like throw sirens on there, I think that would be cool. But the logo itself that they release is just awful. Well, I'm not trying to like throw any like bad opinions or stuff out there, but I don't like the logo as much. I really think if they added like a fire or like blazing like kind of horn like logo, if you guys know what I'm talking about, I really think that should fit well with it. And the colors can be like red and blue, like this yellow. I'm not really liking this yellow with the color as well. I think if they throw like a red and bluish kind of color in there, kind of like a police siren almost, and like a fire, like blazing go horn as the logo. I think that should like really stand out. Like kind of like the New York Rangers, sort of, but like way different. And number six, I gotta put this logo at the last. I know a lot of people was saying a lot of negative stuff about this logo, the Ottawa Charge, and honestly, don't blame them. I mean, to me, this looks like a mixture of the Cleveland Cavaliers and Calgary Flames logo, almost, and it's just like mixed together. And like they didn't do like a good job on this logo, so I would definitely make some changes if possible. Because like this logo to me doesn't stand out. And it's just certainly not good. I'm trying to not make nobody feel bad or nothing, but like there needs to be some definite changes for this logo because I'm like for real. Like, I mean, honestly, the graphic design people could do a little bit better with this. And like really, I'm not a graphic designer, so I can't really say too much about that part because like I'm just a sports journalist. Um, with major in sports media, of course. So I'm not like a creative mass media major or like nothing like that. So I can't really say too much about the graphic design part because, like I said, I'm just a sports journalist and sports media major. But I really think they should make some definite changes if possible because we don't want to make it look like the Cavaliers and the Flames logo all together because to me that just doesn't sound good. So yeah, just make some definite changes right there. Then you'll have a good logo. The team name, I would say, it's not good, it's not bad. It's just slightly in the middle. Like it's not a good team name, it's not a bad team name, but maybe it can be like slightly a little bit better than it already is. I think there's an NFL team called the Chargers. I don't watch football because I'm not a football person, but I think there's an NFL team called I think it's called the San Diego Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but I think the logo's like really better than this. But like I said, I don't really watch a lot of football because I'm not a football person. Um, but yeah, I really think that they should make some changes for this logo because obviously it's not good. I did see Caleb. Well, actually, no, I didn't. But I wanted to see Caleb Williams debut in the NFL. Just only that one game because it's like the Chicago playing for the Chicago Bears, new rookie. Seemed like every Chicago sports team is like trying to rebuild and like become better. I know the White Sox did terrible. Like they lost like 100+ games this season, and Chicago Cubs. I don't know about them. They're probably not as bad as the White Sox are. The Bears are trying to rebuild, kind of like the Blackhawks and the Bulls. I hate that they traded away Alex Caruso, man, because like, come on now, for Josh Giddey. But I think this team is still like solid enough. Anyway, we're moving on. So we're taking a look at Utah Hockey Club jersey. So they just released this yesterday. We're gonna take a good look at it. So the jerseys, the colors are not bad, but the team name is. Like I said on this podcast before, I don't like the team name. I really think they should change it. Hopefully, after this season, they'll change it. But the uniforms are not bad. And of course, right here, as you see with my mouser, if you're watching this on YouTube, like they got the inaugural season patch on the side of the jerseys. So the uniforms are actually not bad. These look pretty fire. These are really great uniforms. And of course, um, we got to see like players like Clayton Keller, Mikhail Sergachev, and I want to say Logan Cooley was the other player. I know they posted this on Instagram and, of course, on their social media pages of them in the uniforms. So they don't look bad, but the team name does. And I'm hoping that they find a logo after this season, to make it like really stand out. Like I see that the team colors are like blue and white. So I would say get a Yeti in there. I know people were saying before that they wanted the team name to be called Utah Yeti. I think that would really stand out. Like get like some kind of like a Yeti logo in there. Um I forgot the team name that I said, like when we was like talking about like what should be the Utah team name. I said it on the podcast before, but it was like a while back, so I really don't remember. But I know Utah Yeti will make a great team name, and I'll honestly like stand out. So hopefully they use that after this season because like the team name is awful, but the uniforms are really good. I mean, they're fire uniforms, and I can't wait for my Chicago Blackhawks to face this team on opening night. Of course, the Utah Jazz will be playing at the Delta Center. I mean, not the Utah Jazz, the Utah Hockey Club. I'm still trying to get used to this team because I know they transformed. They went from Arizona Coyotes to Utah Hockey Club, so I'm still trying to get used to this team. The Utah Hockey Club will be playing at the Delta Center, which of course that's where the Utah Jazz play at. So they'll be sharing the same arena, kind of like other NBA, NFL teams like Chicago Blackhawks, Chicago Bulls, United Center, New York Knicks, New York Rangers, MSG, um, LA Kings, LA Lakers, LA Clippers, and of course LA Sparks, Crypto.com Arena, which used to be called Staples Center, and Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, American Airlines Center. So they'll share the same arena as the Utah Jazz. So, of course, basketball to hockey, hockey to basketball. So yeah, I really can't wait for my Chicago Blackhawks to face them on opening night because our first game is against Utah Hockey Club. So that's going to be a good game to watch for both Blackhawks fans and, of course, Utah fans and, of course, hockey fans in general because this is a new team. Obviously, when a new team comes in, all hockey fans are going to be on it. So, like when Vegas came in in 2017, I watched that game. When Seattle came in at 2021. I watched their first game. So, of course, when a new team comes in, all hockey fans are going to be like, okay, we're going to watch this game. So that's how I'm going to be when my Chicago Blackhawks face Utah Hockey Club on opening night. Okay, so good news for Canucks fans. Brock Besser is cleared to play with the Vancouver Canucks. Of course, he had a blood clot in his leg, and during the playoffs, well, he missed the final game in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which, of course, for them was Game 7 of the second round when the Oilers faced the Canucks, and the Canucks lost to the Oilers in 7 in the second round. He led the Canucks with 40 goals last season, and he was fourth in points with 73. And now he's going to be back in the lineup for Vancouver, so that'll be good news to see. As you see right here, according to the Daily Faceoff website, he'll be playing on that first line with Niels Höglander and JT Miller, so he'll slide in right there, and can't wait to watch him come back to the lineup because obviously he is a great player to watch. He's been in the All-Star game like I don't know how many times it probably would have been one because I know he was in the All Star game in Tampa in 2018. I don't know if he was in any other All Star games that I can remember, but it's great to have him back in the lineup. Okay, so I don't want to start any rumors or so, but Adam Larson, Seattle Kraken are going to be closing their way on a 4-year contract deal. So, of course, Adam Larson has already played 3 seasons with the Seattle Kraken. He was chosen by them in the expansion draft that they had when they were coming into the league. And during his 3 seasons with the Seattle Kraken, he's had 76 points in 245 games played. So 20 goals, 56 assists for 76 points in 245 games. Last season, he had 18 points in 81 games played. So 4 goals, 14 assists for 18 points in 81 games played. And he averaged about 23 minutes of time on ice per game. I know that says 22 minutes and 57 seconds, but if you round that, that'll be the 23 minutes. So that's why I said that. And of course, he was in the playoffs with the Seattle Kraken, their only first playoff appearance in their franchise history in 2023, where they lost to the Dallas Stars in the second round in 7 games. That was a unbelievable series against Colorado that year because we all thought Colorado was going to come out to win against the Kraken. But of course, the Kraken had to be the underdogs and beat the then defending champs and knock them out of the playoffs. So that was a great series, though. But anyway, Adam Larson, he played 13 seasons in the NHL with the Devils, Oilers, and Kraken. He's got 213 points in 848 games played, so 45 goals, 168 assists for 213 points in 848 games. And we could see him back on Seattle Kraken. This will be his 4th season if, of course, he signs the 4-year deal, which should expire in 2028. So he'll be on the team then, unless they choose to resign him then. But we will just have to see. Okay, so Mike Gardner to replace Laney McDonald as chairman of the Hockey Hall of Fame. So, of course, Laney McDonald, he's been in the Hockey Hall of Fame as chairman for a while now. So, and Mike Gardner will take over on June 2025. So, in June 2025, Mike Gardner will take over when Laney McDonald's 10-year contract term expires. And this is what he had to say about that. So he says, I'm thrilled to pass the torch to Mike, whose stature as an honored member will bring continuity and strong leadership during his transitional period for the Hockey Hall of Fame, said McDonald. His experience and perspective in the business of hockey and longtime service on the selection committee will be a tremendous asset to the board. And of course, he was inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1992. Mike Gardner was inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2001. And speaking of the Hockey Hall of Fame, in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, of course, Breonna Decker, Matt Colin, and a few other players will be inducted in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. Like I mentioned in this video already, that's in Minnesota. If you want to go out to it and like take pictures, of course, the Hockey Hall of Fame's in Toronto. U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame's in Minnesota, state of hockey. So if you guys want to go check it out, you can. Should be a unbelievable time. So yeah. All right, Oilers offseason look. So, of course, Oilers, they had a great offseason. They signed Jeff Skinner. They signed Victor Arvidsson, which did improve their offensive depth. Those were great signings by Stan Bowman, who's now the GM of the Oilers. So they fired or Ken Holland. It's no longer GM of the Edmonton Oilers. It is Stan Bowman, who used to be GM of my Chicago Blackhawks. At least he was a great GM then. He's probably I have the Oilers win the cup in 2025, but that will depend on how Stan Bowman controls his team. And I think they do have a shot at winning the cup in 2025 after, of course, last season. So we'll just have to see. They'll finally bring the cup back home to Canada. Of course, if Bettman doesn't try and screw it up, because American teams have been winning the Stanley Cup for a while now. Of course, a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup in over 30 years. Of course, last team to do it was the 1993 Montreal Canadiens. So Bettman doesn't somehow screw it up and let the American teams win, then the cup should come back to Canada. But honestly, you can't really blame Bettman, but I know some people do. So that's why I'm throwing that out there. But you can't really blame Bettman for how teams structure the teams and see if they're a Stanley Cup contender team or not. But I know some people blame Gary Bettman right there, so that's why I'm throwing it out there. And some people say that it just depends on how the team looks in the structure. But anyway, that was a great signing from Stan Bowman. Getting Jeff Skinner from the Buffalo Sabres and, of course, Victor Arvidsson from the LA Kings. This did improve the offensive depth, which was an issue in the Stanley Cup playoffs because the team had to rely on Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and of course Evan Bouchard. And then Evan Bouchard, I describe him as an offensive defenseman. You guys probably already knew that. He's an offensive defenseman, so he can really dominate on that blue line right there. And of course, Connor McDavid, Conn Smythe Trophy winner in the playoffs with 42 points. Of course, his buddy Leon Draisaitl. So with these two signings, they have some secondary scoring options right here. As you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see my notes right here. And of course, they re-signed Leon Draisaitl to the 8-year contract deal. So I felt like that was big for the Edmonton Oilers right there. And Stuart Skinner, he had some impressive stats last season and in the playoffs. In the regular season, he was 36, 16, and 5 in regular season with a 2.62 goals against average and a .905 save percentage. So and of course in the playoffs, he was 14 and 9 with a 2.45 goals against average and a .901 save percentage. So I really think he should be in a new form. He's going to improve. The problem is staying consistent. You got to stay consistent. You got to play your game. You can't let your foot off the gas pedal. It's all about consistency, and I really think that plays a good role if the Oilers want to win the Cup next season, which I really think they will win the Cup next season. So that's my prediction. That's actually a bold prediction. If you guys didn't see my bold predictions video on the TG Hockey channel, you want to go ahead and check that out because I said it in that video. So that's actually one of my bold predictions right there. Oilers coming to win the cup. I really think they have a shot at it. They improved much in the offseason, so we could see it happen for Edmonton, bring the cup back home to Canada. And of course, the signing of Leon Draisaitl staying in the Oil for 8 more years. It's going to be really exciting to see, and I know Oilers fans will get a taste out of that. So, yeah, just wanted to share that. And I think that is the end of this slide if you're watching this on YouTube. So that is going to do it for this episode. So I really thank you guys for tuning in as always. Of course, Preseason hockey is just 11 days away. The preseason starts on September 21st. And then, of course, the regular season opening night will be on October 8th. The Devils and Sabres, I think they start their regular season on October 4th with the international. Like, I think they play in Prague or Sitia this year. So they're going to be starting their season a little bit early. So despite NFL season already being here, hockey season is around the corner, and I can't wait for that. So I'm really gonna. The only part I might watch about football is the halftime show at the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't really like football, to be honest with you guys, but I will watch the halftime show. Of course, Kendrick Lamar is going to be performing. Hopefully, he brings out Lil Wayne because this is supposed to be in New Orleans, and Lil Wayne was born in Louisiana, New Orleans. So hopefully, he brings him out. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. I really do appreciate it. I love talking hockey with you guys, and just a huge hockey fan in general. Love hockey playing. I love hockey. Played hockey before. Of course, write about it as a sports journalist. So yeah. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. God first, as always. Be blessed. And I will see you guys next time for the next episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. And peace.